Hey there, everyone. It's another awesome Wednesday evening. This is Marcia here coming to you again with Sears Bite and a Mouthful. The fact is that we're running a little bit late this evening, but as in all good things, we have itches, we have glitches. But as we come this evening, we have another very interesting topic this evening. And this evening we will be talking to some women in business, and we will be trying just to see how we can basically encourage our young women, especially women who are looking at desires of doing business. Just how you can overcome some of the trials, some of the struggles that there might be. So, joining us this evening, we have Mrs. Marcella Brown Ferron, and she is a CEO and she will tell you more about what she does. We also have Adriana Mitchell, another businesswoman, and I'll allow them just to tell you a little bit of who they are and what they do. So, first, I'll introduce to you Adriana. Hi, Adriana, how do you do?
I'm well, thank you, Marcia.
Thank you
So,
so much for joining me. Can you just hold a second, please? I'm just going to introduce our other participant. Hey, Marcella, how
of
are
course,
you? Thank you so much for being with us this evening.
I am so delighted to be here as well. Thank you. Good evening. And good evening, Adrian.
Okay, awesome. I think we're having some glitches this evening in terms of the connection seem to be poor. I don't know what is happening, but as we say, once you are dealing with anything, you can expect challenge as long as it's something good and edifying. But we won't allow that to stop us. We're going to be moving forward. Um, so let me start with Adrian. How do you do again? And welcome to CS Bite and a Mouthful. Dear Marcia has no. And would you care to tell our viewers, our listeners, a little bit about just who you are and what you do? Just briefly, because as we move on, we will go into more details.
absolutely. Um, so, like Marcia shared, my name is Adrena Shanwan Mitchell. I am the owner and one of the operators of Earth Solutions. We are a full spectrum holistic herb nutritionist. So we help folks doing detoxes. If you're dealing with something, if you want to lose weight, if you have high diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, all these lifestyle diseases, we formulate custom packages to help rid you of that, specifically dealing with men and women in our community.
Okay, that was short, brief, and to the point. Um, and Marcella, what do you do?
All right. As you already introduced me, I'm Marcella Brown Ferron. I consider myself a Jesus ambassador. I've been using this name for a while because I believe that is who I am because I don't represent myself, but I represent the God that I serve. But as a person, I actually operate a business. The name of my business is Ferron's Exquisite Photo Studio. We're located in St. Catherine, Spanish Town, on Hollywood Road. We have been around for the last, actually today I checked it that we're around for the last 8 years. And I am proud to be the owner of the business, but I'm more grateful to the God that I serve who has daily been sustaining us as we go along each day. So what we do photos, we do graphic design, we do printing services, personalized service, and so I manage that, own and manage the business.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. And Adrian, you didn't say where you are located. Where are you located? Adriana? Adriana?
Sorry, I can't hear you. It's breaking.
Okay,
Yes.
I was asking, where are you located? Would you care to
I'm
just
sorry,
rejoin
I
the program?
can't name. I can't hear
Would you care
you.
to just rejoin the program, Adriana? Can you just log off and re-log? Can you log off and get back on? Can you reconnect? Okay, so viewers, our sincere apologies. We are
I'm
having
so sorry.
some.
So I'll just talk a little bit.
So I'm just asking Adriana if she can reconnect with us, because we're having some technical issues. So I'm just trying to see if she can reconnect with us. But in the meantime, are you hearing me better, Adriana?
Seems like you can hear.
Okay. Um, Let me actually give her a call. Viewers, just bear with me a minute, please. Just trying to see what I can get sorted out here. But we're talking to women, especially small business owners. And as we say, it's usually so daunting sometimes that when you have a topic of interest that you really want to talk about, that you have distortions. So, just a minute, please. Marcella, just 1 second. Okay, Marcella, so I am back with you. So you say that you have been in business for about 8 years, Marcella?
Yes, I have been.
Yes, you
Yes,
said
I
you
have
have
been.
been in business for 8 years approximately, right?
Yes.
What drove you into the area of business that you are in?
Can I tell you? It's a long story, right? But long and short is I have never imagined that I would be in this kind of business that I am in because I've never studied for it, and I've even never done any studies since I've been in it. The truth is, the opportunity came up because there was a similar business in the area offering photo services, and they closed down. And my sister, who used to work there at the time, she told me about it, and she knew that I wanted to operate a business because I really wanted to start my own thing, but I was still managing other business before. And so I said, all right, let
Mm-hmm.
me take on this. And we took the shop and we started offering photography service. Back then, when we initially started out. I don't know nothing about photos. I have never had any prior experience because I did my degree in human resource management and training. So that's what I was setting to become or to do. And so this business found me, and I started out doing it. She started working with me, and when I realized and see the potential of it and where it would, what thing it's been asking for, I decided to go full force and I left my job that I was working at the time and decided, I think it was about the second or third year, and to come into the business full time to push it because I realized if I'm there and seeing what customer want and they're in the old operations, then I would have given it more energy to push it the way it want to. And that's when I see the business begin to take shape and becoming what it is today. So it was nothing that I
So,
imagined or wanted to do. The opportunity came and I grabbed it, and I have not regret. I love it.
so I noticed that you said that the business found you. You did not find the business. Um,
Not at all.
is this usually the case, Marcella? Because you said you studied for human services, business, but yet
And
still
this
you're
is my main
doing
thing.
something totally different. What drove you into that? how did you get the faith? Because, okay, so you said that after about the second or the third year in business, that you resigned your job
Mhm.
and you went into
Yeah,
this full time.
full
At the
time.
time when you decided to resign and to go into this full time with just the business 2, 3 years into its inception, was this by then financially viable for you, or you just stepped out in faith?
Not at all. It was not financially viable at all, and I think my husband thought it was a joke or a mistake initially because he couldn't pay me, and so I had to adjust my whole life in order to fit in as best so that my needs don't overpower what the business is able to run it. So I can put in all my savings, all my earn just to push it. So there was nothing fit financial about it, but I saw the potential. And based on where we are located, I realized that it can do well. So I put my all into it because I had a vision of what it will become. So while there it was, I didn't see it, but I put in my all, as I said before, and I'm happy that I did.
So, my question, I have a lot of questions because you said you basically all of your savings you pumped into the business.
The truth
Was
is,
there?
I know I am up till this day, I'm scared of taking loan, and so instead of taking loan from the bank and not being assured whether or not I'll be able to pay back the loan, so I decided to use my own money to take my time and bill rather than taking a loan, going up so fast, and then maybe I have to pull back. So that was just my choice of self-funding the business and take my time and grow rather than taking loans.
You know, I you're actually speaking into me right now because there is a venture that I'm going into, and I won't tell you that I'm not scared. It's a big venture. But this is like a confirmation. I had no idea what I was going to ask you this evening. I didn't pre-prepare any questions, but already it's like you're giving me the confirmation that yes, you can, and yes, I can.
Great,
But
great.
do you want to tell us, because you said you started out into doing photos, and you said you had no idea of the business. Why did you why did you take on that venture? 'Cause I think I
I
remember
must say,
your
I remember.
early years of starting out that, and just seeing you with your little camera. Why did you take on that?
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, I from the last two jobs, or maybe three jobs I had before I started my own, I actually managed those business. So
Hmm.
from the foundation, from getting the business started up to employing staff to get it up and running, I actually did that. So I registered the company, get it started, getting the resources, staff, and all of that. And I believe that I did very well
Ariane, bring me a
in getting
mic.
that on. And
I'm
so
hearing you now,
when
Adriana. We're all hearing you.
working for
Um, Ambassador, you're frozen. You just
not
froze
sure
a
what
while
happened.
ago. So can you?
I'm back now.
Yes, yes. So you were
All
saying
right.
that prior to your going into your own business, you were managing businesses for other persons. And you're saying that you were registering those companies, or you registered just your own company?
No, I register those companies for the owners, get them up and running and getting started, and I manage them for a while.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between working for other people, when you can see a vision, but yet it is not your own vision, and then you have to report it to other people. And sometimes the direction
Mm-hmm.
that you'd want to see the business go, but it's not your call to say go ahead. And so I see that,
Mm-hmm.
let me see how best I will start my own business. And so I knew that I wanted to start my own business. But as to say what kind of business I would start, I did not know that. I
Mm-hmm.
remember getting a confirmation at church when the opportunity came up to start this photo studio. A word that my pastor preached, and the word said, "Go in bold faith," because I was iffy about starting because I didn't know nothing about this business. I wonder if I would fail because I don't have no prior knowledge. And the word was, "Go in bold faith," and that word has never left me. The Lord said, "Just go do your part, and I will do my part." And I remember
What was the word that you stepped out on?
I should
What
go
was
in
the word
bold
that you
faith.
stepped? Go in bold faith.
Bold faith, yes.
Okay. Okay. How
So that
important
has
is
never
it?
departed from me.
How important is it, Marcella? Because I know you're a Christian, to believe the word when it is spoken to you. Just how important is that? Do you ever doubt the word that you get?
I did not doubt the word, and every single day I see it happening up till this day. It has been working for me. How important it is, very important, because if anybody who know me well, they will know that I say I'm a steward. The business belongs to Jesus, it's not mine. So I'm operating under his leadership. And so every single day I trust him to do his part. So my part is to open the business, ensure that we offer the quality service, staff is there, we have the product and services, and he sends the customer. We don't do that part. There are many times that we try to do different promotion and it don't happen, or something happen, and then the Lord just open doors that we don't even imagine. So it's very important to trust him, and that's what we have been living on every single day. That word about bold faith, it has never left.
Wow. Um, I don't know what to say to you, but I am believing you that you know and you stand upon your faith, and so I am gonna trust that whatever your belief is, that is going to come to fruition for you. But let me go back to Adriana. Adriana, are you hearing me now?
Yes, ma'am. Loud and clear.
Wonderful. You see how important it is to be persistent?
Yes.
Because, sometimes, if when the challenges come, and you know that in business, we can't stand upon the challenges. We have to, well, we can't allow the challenges to stand upon us. We have to
That's right.
stand upon the challenges.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to restart with you all over because now our viewers are able to hear you clearly. And so I'm going to ask you once more just to reintroduce yourself and to tell us a little bit about your business and where you are located.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Adrena Shanwan Mitchell. I run Herb Solutions LLC. We are herbal holistic nutritionists. We create African alkaline herbal detox packages for people, as well as a whole host of other products that are handmade, including soaps, creams, butters, custom blended teas, for everything from menstrual cramps to diabetes, and just the whole scale of lifestyle issues that we deal with as a community. We work on dealing with that and addressing those very specific issues in our community through alkaline herbal knowledge, giving that knowledge and creating the packages and detoxes for people on a custom basis. And we're located right here in South Orange, New Jersey. We also have an office in Newark, New Jersey, in the Coliseum Gym on Irvington Avenue.
Okay, awesome. So do you want to tell us like some of the products that you have?
Absolutely. So one of our very popular products, you may be familiar with CMOS gel. So we do make a
Mhm.
CMOS gel. The CMOS is comprised of CMOS that we source from Canada. So it has full light spectrum. It's not just the white CMOS. We have gold, the purple, and the green. It's blended together with our elderberry, 100% elderberry extract. and burdock root and cinnamon is added to that to give what I call a culinary medicinal. You can then add that gel to your smoothies. I love to add it to soup. You can add it to gravy. And if you know anything about sea moss, it has a very a thickening consistency or agency to it, which helps thicken up chili, vegan chilies, gravy, soups, whatever you might add it to. And because it is already briny, because it is a salty herb that comes from the sea, I like to put it in more savory dishes than trying to make it into this sweet thing that a lot of people try to mix it with, mangoes and things like that. I try to stay close to the home of where it comes from. So I love to use it in like my lemongrass soup or my mushroom soup, my vegan lentil chili, things like that. You can also just make a tea right from the gel itself as well with hot water. That's one of our most popular products. We also sell that in capsule form. Um, Along with that, I have a product called Colloidal Silver. We also have colloidal gold and several other colloidal minerals that are prolific at stopping their antimicrobials. So they stop fungus, bacteria, and virus. So they've been really instrumental during the last couple of seasons where many people have been suffering from upper respiratory issues. With this colloidal silver, it's really a godsend, and we've been able to treat and help dozens and dozens of people. Whether it be pneumonia, COVID, whatever the upper respiratory issue is, the colloidal silver has been very effective at taking care of it.
But we have to put in a disclaimer right here because it's not a medically approved. We just
Right.
want to say here at CS Bite and a Mouthful that
Mhm.
you this is not a medically approved thing, and so we advise persons that we are not making recommendations to you. We are just
Absolutely.
merely introducing our proprietor and what they do, and so it's up to each person listening to
To
be
make that
medically
decision.
advised before you move forward. So that's just a
Absolutely.
disclaimer that we want to add. So I'm coming back, but you keep mentioning sea moss and the variety of ways in which it can be used. And
Absolutely.
so, as a child growing up in Jamaica, I
Hmm.
knew of sea moss because my grandmother used to get it, but at that time it would come directly from the sea. And so,
Absolutely.
when she used to make it, it was just this, sticky stuff, like, when you do cow foot
Soup.
and,
Right.
it becomes like that glammy kind of a thing. And so, I never liked anything so I didn't like certain foods that has that glammy kind of things. And so, the honest truth of the matter is that I've never really, I can't recall having had sea moss myself. But I
Mm.
realized that in recent times, sea moss has been so highly and has become such a number one statement for a lot of people to use. And
Absolutely.
you mentioned about the different ways that you can use it. I actually have someone who told me about the different flavors, mangoes, pineapple, and the different ways in
Elderberry.
which it
Hmm.
can be used. So this is quite interesting. And maybe now that it has all those different kinds of flavoring and stuff like it, maybe I will now give it a try. But
Absolutely.
what led you into this line of business, Adriana?
So what led me into this line of business for the last 20 years, I've worked as a pharmaceutical tech and in insurance on the pharmaceutical side, doing basically pharmaceutical rebates back to insurance companies. So in seeing that and having that background for over 20 years, um, basically I worked in an area where they were already doing actuarial work on how many people are going to be sick with cancer, how many people are going to have diabetes, and they do all of this work in insurance by demographics. So seeing all of those numbers and seeing that my community specifically is disproportionately suffering from these lifestyle diseases that CEOs are very aware of, these very large companies they know, and seeing the relationship between the pharmaceutical industrial complex, the medical industrial complex, and the agricultural or our food industrial complex, led me to doing to what I do today. Part of it, of course, was a healing journey for myself. Many years ago, I was unable to get pregnant, and I embarked on this journey to heal myself and be able to, conceive children. And God willing, I was able to conceive, and I have two beautiful children today. But certainly, the want to have children led me to this lifestyle and what I do now today. And I've only built further and further on it after, of course, healing myself. Folks around me started asking me, what did I do? How did I do it? And I began helping other people. And then, I have a degree in international business and diplomacy. From Seton Hall, I decided, well, you know what? I want to re-educate myself on nutrition and on health and on these alkaline herbs and all of these wonderful things that I found so beneficial to me and my immediate family and friends. And I was able to expound on that, and it just grew from there to the point where I no longer needed to work in corporate America. I was able to, actually live out my manifestation, my dream, and it's all coming to fruition. It's been happening really quickly over the last 5 years, getting everything registered, the bank account, and just running the business, understanding social media and what a huge tool that is in running the business as well. So that's, in short, that has been my journey to where we are today.
Okay, awesome. If my heading, I have women in business, how much dollar is needed, or can faith take you to your dreams? And I'm throwing that question out at you both because you both started small. I don't know. I know um ambassador spoke of Jesus ambassador spoke about her stepping out in faith. She spoke about putting all that she had into her business. So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna ask you, Adriana, what was it like for you starting out? Did you have all the dollars that was needed?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I did not have the proper, or what I would think would be proper funding, or what other upstarts might start with. Um, it was very much like I got a package from my job, and I literally put the whole package that when I left that job after 10 years, the funds that they gave me, I just reinvested it in myself. And instead of going right back out and looking for another job, I said, I want to be the job creator. I want to be closer to home with my children. I was traveling to the city every day, and I took a good portion of those funds. And I was always doing the business, but that was what got me from a market here, a market there, to now I don't have to return to the corporate workforce that I had been in for so long. So in the beginning, I didn't have much of anything, and I did take that initial investment, that package that they gave me, when I left that last job, and I did invest much of that into what I do today, and that has helped me grow immensely. And that was in 2018, and I've had over 600% growth since I actually, I was always registered since 2014, but I opened my bank account and everything in 2018. I've had over 600% growth since that day.
What has your clientele growth been like in terms of, did you have a clientele when you started out?
I did, but it was a very small clientele. My clientele has grown probably from a couple of dozen people to well over 500 today. And those are, I guess, recidivism, and most of it is really just through word of mouth. That is the biggest way. I mean, even beyond Instagram, beyond Facebook, word of mouth is really how my business has grown. One person tells another, and health is very intimate, it's very personal. So when someone has a good experience and they have something, they share it. They share with everyone. Look, I lost 10 pounds, or look, I'm not on diabetes medication anymore, or whatever their experience might be. Those words go a very long way and have brought a lot of people into my cipher and into my business.
Wow. What about you, Marcella? How was it? Because I know you said you didn't know anything about your line of business when you started. Did you have a clientele going into your business?
Not necessarily, no, because my business is like it's an open office where persons walk in, and and that's where we depend on persons walking in until we develop relationship with different groups and so forth. But I believe that the initially there was a need in the community, so there
Mm-hmm.
was no other business as ours in the community at the time, and so we became a niche in the area. So that was what may have given us an advantage. So while it was very slow, very small, very menial initially, but it grew as person knew what we're offering, like what we're offering, and the word spread, and we become, known in the community for what we've been offering. And then, of course, we began to spread into other things, and through that, we're able to build and grow more.
All right. So you said you started in photography. What are you doing now? How have you expanded the business since?
Well, it has outgrown photography because while that used to be our main service, it is not even our main service now because other areas of the business have been doing way better than photography because, of course, many areas of photography are trending down based on, COVID, based on new things that are out there. Person have nice smartphone, can take their pictures, so no longer no person will come in and do studio portraits and stuff like that. you know. So we have ventured into a number of things. We have actually opened up a good sized basket, and we try to fill it as best as possible. And
You
that's
have
why we're
opened
able
up what?
to survive.
What have you opened
A
up?
big basket, a big basket.
Okay.
So we try to
Okay.
fill it with different stuff. So we're offering graphic service. So we're a graphic designer. We do printing service. So we print, and we also do personalized service. So personalized service include personalized items such as water bottles, cup jars, bag. We do T-shirts, image
Okay.
transfer with embroidery stitching, and all of that. So we can do invoice book if person want personalized invoice book in terms of printing. We print like magazines. So whatever printing, graphic designing, and photograph, we offer all of those. Since last year, COVID, while we're thinking about this a long time, we have now been offering online services. So many of the services that have been, you can access at the tax office, like, driver's license renewal, passport renewal, and all those stuff. We're now offering them online, which is pretty trending, and we have been doing well in one person know that we're offering them.
Let me ask you something because you spoke about renewals and you spoke about like driver's license and I know you have bill services. You need to sell your business in ours. I'm gonna have to charge you for advertisement. Uh, let me ask you something because for a lot of people who live overseas like myself, a lot of the
Mhm.
problems that people tend to have is that we send money back home to persons to do business for us, whether it be to pay our taxes, to pay our this, to pay our that, or stuff like that. Can we directly do this through you instead of like sending our money to somebody personally who's gonna take it like to NHT or to this or to that? What are the certs? What are some of the entities that you collect for? And is it possible for us living overseas to make payments via your organization?
Right, because what happened, many of these services, while anybody maybe can do them online, not everybody knows how to do it or have the means to do it, or maybe have a credit card to do it. So they are different. You definitely need a
Mm,
computer, you need internet, and you also need
mhm.
a credit card to be able to offer service online. So what we're doing, we're offering this service so that persons who only have your cash and need to pay these money, we can do it for you. So yes, if persons are overseas
Mhm.
and you want to pay land tax, you want to renew your driver's license or passport, those can be done online. You want to pay traffic tickets, you want to register your vehicle fitness fee, those can be done online. So once you provide the necessary information that we need, and of course we provide means of you getting the money to us, we'll be able to get that done for you online.
So you want to say that I can sit in the comfort of my living room as I'm doing now, and I can just
Just
use whether it be my phone, my laptop, my iPad. But how easy it is if I live overseas, right? and I want to renew my Jamaican driver's license. How can I do that? And is it something that would be mailed to me? Walk us through that, please.
Right. So far, the system has made it quite easy enough to be able to do it. What we need is just few information. Once we have the license that we're going to bring, a copy of the license that is expired, and that is pretty much what you need. And there's a form that you fill out, and we do the application online, and we drop that in the Dropbox at tax office, and they will call you as soon as the driver's license is ready. So we take your passport pictures, we upload it, we make a copy of it, and we do the processing online, and you get the document. You can drop it off, or we can drop it off for you at the tax office. So it's quite
So you're
not
saying
an
that
hard
if
process.
but what about verification of the documentations that are needed? Is that why you're saying that we would upload like a copy of our ID and all of that? Is that why
Yes,
that is needed?
photocopy that.
Okay,
Yes, so we have to photocopy that. We have an original of it.
okay. So I just want to make it clear. If you're living overseas and you have your driver's license and you want to renew it, that is possible to do it via your company.
Yes.
All right. Do you want to remind our viewers again? Just type it in the chat box as well. Your contact information so that it's there for viewers to see online. Um, I myself know that the business is legit and it's something that I can verify. And it's just such a vast improvement and such a well needed service. But
All right. So
you
again, we are
mentioned that
Feron
you
Photo
do
Studio.
like graphic printing, personalization. I know you do like trophies, like prefect badges, stuff like that. How has COVID affected your business? And I'm going to be asking Adriana the same question. How has COVID affected both of you and your businesses?
All right. So for us, while initially, it put a little dent, I would say, in our operations because, of course, we had to close because we don't this thing come COVID, we don't know nothing about it. Persons not going outside, limited things are happening, and based on what we do, most of our business rely on activity going on and events. What
Mm-hmm.
what it does do, it allows us to rethink business in a positive way. So we're able to cut back on some things that we were doing that were maybe not necessary. We were able to be innovative in areas that we were very tired or not tech savvy on. And we were able to jump online with a number of opportunities that we weren't even thinking about. So while some things has changed, for example, like weddings, I will do over 20 weddings per year. All right. Last year, I don't think I don't do 6 weddings, right? And that would be a great dent in our activity. But other things happen because the online service grew, and there are other areas that we were able to tap into that made us viable. So I remember one of the areas that I testify about is our is the graduation season because we do graduations as well, photo packages and all of that. So when
Mm-hmm.
graduation actually hung up my camera and said nothing will happen this year because nobody graduating because no school happening. And last year was our best year ever. Best year ever.
Last year,
Season. It was our best year ever.
how did
It
that
was even
happen?
it is and this even though we're still in the season. I
How
believe
did that
that
happen?
because
How
I
did it
think it
become
was
your best
flexible.
year?
Because I think while others hang up their camera and maybe not maybe weren't even around, persons found us and asking us to come in and do this thing. So school that we never did before, they asked us and we went in and do that. So we are able to bank on those, and even this year got them back on board. So we did well that year in that season. And of course, as I mentioned, the online services that we jump into, and we were able to cut back on many things that we weren't doing well in so that we can actually use the resource to go in other areas that are doing better. So So COVID,
But
it put a dent in some things, but it gave a lot of positive things that we were able to. Because last year I was able to make an investment in the business because we started doing embroidery stitching that we weren't offering before, and now we're offering that
mhm.
service. And I was able to get that machine even during COVID.
Let me, I
I'm
mean,
talking about I'm talking about a machine.
I
I'm talking
actually
about a
went to a
machine that costs
sign.
over $1 million.
I
Mm,
actually went to a signage company yesterday, and it's ironic that the owner was saying the very same thing to me. In that, I saw, like, he had this sign, like 6 feet apart, social distancing, and all
uh,
of that. And he was like, while I wasn't making the big money that I would make on a sign, but I was selling these in volumes. And
right.
so it made up, it was smaller
That's right.
material. And, like he was saying that while I would do maybe 12 signs, 24 signs per month, I was now turning out thousands of these,
Right.
social
Little
distances,
pieces.
6 feet
Mhm.
apart, no mask, no service, and stuff like that. So he was saying he was now turning out volumes. Um,
Right.
I'm sorry. He was saying that he was now turning out volumes instead of value. So
Yes, that's it.
it made up for that. But Adriana, how was COVID? How did COVID impact your business? And
Well,
how did you reinvent yourself during that time?
absolutely. So the main thing, similar to Jesus Ambassador, it was a really huge learning experience and learning curve for us. Things that we didn't know that we could be doing so much easier and more efficiently. We were able to see that once we were, pulled back from having the volume come into the store, come into the space. Now, for a period of time, no one was coming into the space. So we did a lot of work on the website, getting everything together there, just being way more efficient with how we mail out our orders and things of that nature so that there wasn't any direct pickup. Also, little things like having a pickup box, right on site where people, contactless delivery, that type of thing. All of those things we didn't have prior to COVID, and eventually, as COVID extended, we got into more of how we can do this automated contactless service. And I think that that was really important because some people prefer that COVID or not, and not only that, just learning the logistics of what I didn't have at the time definitely improved how we mail, who we mail with, the volume of mail that we do, and certainly how we had the website set up to take that volume from folks coming directly into the store to shifting that information online. And because again, it's a lot of consultations and things of that nature. Another part of the business was Zoom calls. So instead of doing my in-person calls, I just became like a Zoom guru, and almost all of my consultations for over a year were over Zoom, showing products and giving in detail information to clients through those many different services that came out during COVID or were highlighted during COVID because of the contactless nature that COVID presents. So that was very helpful in that. So definitely a learning experience. In the beginning, it was certainly less business, but eventually it ended up being where to it was more business, especially for last year, because similar to Jesus Ambassador, um, it's a health thing. So when people are suffering, they're looking for remedies, and people are paying more attention to their health. They're paying more attention to their wellness and what they're doing to keep their bodies balanced and homeostasis. They know that if you're healthier, it's just better for getting any type of ailment, whether it be flu or COVID or anything otherwise, the more healthy your immune system is, then the better chances you have. So certainly we did see an uptick in business in that regard. And now that everything is kind of getting back to normal, there has been a little bit of a slump, but I do see that people are still interested. They just want to go. People want to get out of town and travel and just really take advantage of not having to be on lockdown anymore.
Right. But at the same time, persons are still conscientious that COVID is
Absolutely.
still happening. And so a lot of people are
Hmm.
trying to boost their immune
Yes,
system more.
absolutely.
Is this coming back to the saying that says when the going get tough, the tough
Tough get
gets,
going. That's right. That's
you
right.
know? There is a Bible scripture, and Jesus Ambassador can back me up, that says that he will make a way even in the desert and the dry places.
That's right.
Yeah, so I
That's
think
right.
COVID to a lot of people might have been daunting because for me myself, I can say that although I toyed with the idea of doing a blog for a while, maybe 2, 3 years,
Hmm.
actually I think I became more evolved with COVID.
Absolutely.
I This program is actually based on COVID. This
Mm.
this 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 program that I'm doing was pretty much brought to me while lying in the hospital recovering from COVID.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
it was the 20th of February at 5:40 a.m. when the Lord specifically spoke to me about
Mm.
speaking to women about doing all the things that I'd always envisioned to do and to do it. And can I tell you that we started this program on March 24th, and
Okay.
there has only been one Wednesday. Marshall and I were talking about this early this morning. It's taxing. It
Hmm.
takes a lot of it out of you to prepare for each program, but I've never
Absolutely.
missed a beat where this program is concerned. Never.
Hmm.
And at times when somebody might back out at me at the last moment, there's always somebody to fit in that slot.
Yes.
Because Adriana, you're a prime example. I met you today, and here
Hmm.
you are on
Today.
this program. Just today that I met you, just so that our viewers can know. And if you're out there and you have a product, you have something that you do, you're an entrepreneur, and you want to highlight yourself, DM me. I'll be more than happy to feature you and to give you the kind of promotion that you are looking for. And with that being said, let me just take a moment just to have a break and just to feature and hand right here. Dreams to reality events and more, your complete wedding and event needs from A to Z. We specialize in Jamaican destination weddings, parties, corporate functions and fundraisers, graduations, bridal, baby, or graduation shower. Email us at dreams_to reality, that's the number two, at outlook.com. Dreams to reality. No dream or budget is too big or small. We are here to realize them all. And we just want to add that in addition to the email address, which is dreams underscore the number two reality at outlook.com, there's also a telephone number that you can reach Dreams to Reality at, and it's 201-466-6936. We also have wedding officiants, so your complete wedding or event needs is met when you come to Dreams to Reality. So, ladies, let me get back to you. Um, what is your vision going? We are halfway into 2021. What are your visions leading up to the end of this year and beyond?
So one of my main visions, and I'm kind of putting that into fruition now, and a lot of it came or is coming into fruition. Hopefully, in meeting you, Marsha, having a dedicated space outside of my home. Right now, I primarily run my business. My boutique is in my home, and I have a small office in Irvington. But kind of looking to bring that all together into one space. That's what I'm looking to do, and also expanding my online presence. I don't, again, a lot of it's word of mouth, so it's very much the community and the people right here in, Newark, Orange, East Orange, Irvington, and the surrounding area. So looking just to take that, further and bigger through internet and through the website, and traveling as well, doing events all over up and down the East Coast.
You know, they say it is said God does not make a mistake, right?
That's right.
And my father's favorite word that he used to say is that in every situation, in every person, there is some good, and
Yeah,
in every bad person, there is some good, and in every good person, there is some bad.
that's right.
And one of my favorite things that I like to say is that people comes into our life for reason, season,
Mm-hmm.
time, purpose, and whatever else the Lord send them for.
That's right.
So sometimes you will meet somebody and you're connected for life,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't know if Marshall want to say how we met initially or anything like that, but people come into our lives for, we never know.
Right.
Someone comes into our life and 20 years later, um, we have them. And with that, I'm going to be adding on to our program. Someone who has just joined us. I wasn't sure whether or not she was going to be on with us, but I'm going to add BJ Beverly Dawkins. I call her, I won't tell you guys what I call her, but I'm going to have her now. So, viewers, welcome, Beverly. I don't think she's ready. I am seeing all of her stuff. So, once I have her on stream, then I will definitely add her to us. But yes, and so I'm saying that persons come into our lives for different reasons, um, to fulfill different areas of your lives. And I always say to people that sometimes people come into our lives and we can't see why they came, or how they got there. But
Mm-hmm.
and then sometimes people come and they are done with what they came to do, and we're trying to hold on to them.
Yeah.
And guess what? We shouldn't, because if they have already fulfilled their purposes, then we can't hold on to them. And so, with that being said, I see Madam BJ positioning herself. So let me add her onto our live.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Oh,
How do
how
you
are
do?
you?
Hi, how are you?
Good,
Good
thank
and
you.
awesome. For those of us who are Jamaicans, here is our. Do you remember when we were growing up as children? We had Mary Gas on radio. Do you remember Mary Gas, ambassador, or you're too young to remember her?
I
Marshall,
think
Marshall is frozen.
Yeah, I think she's frozen.
Yeah.
But I don't remember right now.
So this is our Marigas right here, that we
Mhm.
have. Welcome, Marigas. Um, you know, we're gonna come back to your story because this is your second time. Marshall, are you now hearing us? Marshall? Right. So this is your second time. Um,
Yes, I'm hearing.
okay, great. Right. So we have welcomed Beverly online. This is your second time, Beverly, being with us. And so I want to tell listeners, we're talking about women in business,
okay.
right? And we're all business persons right here, including myself. But sometimes opportunities come to us in the most adverse of situations. And that is Beverly's thing right now. And so I'm going to ask Beverly just to reintroduce yourself. There are some people that might remember you from our special education program that we had. But BJ, just reintroduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business and why you got started.
Okay. So I'm not sure if you can see this.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So my name is Beverly Dawkins, aka BJ. It's Beverly Joy. And my son, I have a 22-year-old. Well, oops.
He was
I have,
22 then.
I have a 37-year-old son who was a crime victim 15 years ago, which propelled me into starting my own business. So 15 years ago, he was carjacked and shot in the back of his head. He's fully dependent on 24-hour care, but with God's help, I have pushed through because I have a good support system. Um, opened my business because I want to encourage people that don't give up. When the struggles get real, don't give up. Fight it. There are so many possibilities going on, but at the same time, what you can do is you can pull from here, you can pull from there, and get some resources that are available. So my company will be teaching people how to find those resources and how to survive the tragedy, the quote unquote tragedy that they went through to support their loved ones and their families.
And so, viewers, that is why I said that sometimes our businesses comes from our most adverse situation.
Correct.
Because though Bev had been in corporate and in business world before, like you, Marshall, she managed many companies for other individuals, and this has not propelled her to use all the knowledge and all the skills that she has gained over the years taking care of her son, which, by the way, I am going to ask you to tell us a little bit more about your son. You currently said his age, but you're talking about him being dependent, but give us a little bit more insight, babe. You have a lot more that you can share with us.
So Colin is bedbound. He's unable to help himself. Um, for everything, he has a feeding tube. He has an external catheter for urine, incontinence, everything you have to do for him. But Colin is also a clown. So Colin likes to laugh at Marcia when she tries to sing. But he knows what's going on. He's just not able to respond to you. Like now I'm talking to you and he's close by. He's listening very keenly to the conversation. Very nosy, I should say. But he's what I'm gonna say, what I should say is he's very much aware of everything, but it hurts him that he cannot participate. Because he was a people's person,
Mm-hmm.
a young man that had 40 million women, young and old. There were some of the women were my age group when he got hurt. I was like, "Who are you? How old are you?" But Colin is he's a fighter. But in the process of this, I had an angel that showed up in the process. And when the angel showed up, she told me that Colin is not going to be 100%, but he will survive. And for me to get ready. And I was the only one that saw her for the weekend that she stayed with us. And family members, everybody, no one saw her but me. And she said, I was sent by God to you on behalf of Colin. And this is why my business name is Colin's Angel, because with that, I can use those wings, the angelic wings, and spread the love, spread the knowledge. Because one thing a lot of us don't do is share information. So I want to share. And if I come across someone that needs my help that cannot afford it, I will still give the help. And I'm not going to shortchange it because I was in that shoe that no one was able to help me until when I got upset and I said, okay, I don't know what to do. I'm always a giver. I've never been a receiver. So being on the receiving end has not always been good. And this incident happened 3 days before Mother's Day. So for every Mother's Day, I struggle. But for every Mother's Day, I also get better. So that's basically it in a nutshell.
So not only did it happen 3 days before Mother's Day, but it also happened very close to Colin's birthday, right?
Yes, 1 month shy of his 22nd birthday. So it happened May 11, 2006, and his birthday is June 11th. So just a month shy. And at that
So
time, he was in
exactly 1 month.
exactly 1 month. And he was getting, and it's kind of funny. I didn't think about it until this morning. This incident happened at about 11:10, and he was born at 11:10 on a Monday night, back in 1984. It's minute, but it's just something that popped into my head. Similarities.
He was born at 11:10, and the
Mm-hmm.
incident happened at 11:10.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow. So, Bev, I'm going to come back to you. Is there anything you want to say to a parent experiencing what you have actually gone through? But you know what? I'm going to hold on because I think Marshalla needs to go, right, Marshalla? Marshalla, you need to go, right?
Yeah, you heard me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm asking, do you need to go? I know you have Bible studies.
No, no,
You're
that's fine.
fine. Okay, great. All right.
Go ahead.
So Bev, I'm asking you, for somebody who is in your position right now, what would you say to them? Somebody who feels like they are at the point of no return and they can't see why God, like Job, why God, why me, why me? What would you say to that person right now?
Actually, the person I would say is reach out to me directly at
Mm-hmm.
BJ Dawkins at collinsangel.com. And the reason I say that is because everybody's experience is different. And sometimes people are going through this, they just need somebody that will listen to them. Just somebody, not to give them advice, just to listen, let them sound off. Then there's the group that needs the advice. And what I would say to them is, depends on the state that you're in, there are resources that are available in your community. If you have your person at home, there's a respite program that is in every state. If you have the person in a nursing home and you want to bring them home, the social worker can reach out to various agencies to facilitate that. So you can bring your person home and they will provide a hospital bed, if needed, a wheelchair, an oil lift, a shower chair. The person might be mobile, but cannot be by themselves and they're in a nursing home. So the government is trying to get a lot of people out of the nursing home because it costs so much. It's actually cheaper. However, the money, they'll even pay for someone to come in and care. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is the pay rate is very low. So if you can afford to match it, like with my son, they were paying $10 an hour. My son's care, the lowest I could get was 25. So I matched it with a 15 because the person that came in was somebody that he trusted and he felt comfortable with and I felt comfortable with. So reach out to the social workers or reach out to me and I will do my best to guide.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to come back to you, BJ. So,
Okay.
Marshalla, I was asking because we are looking at women in business. How do you, because you are in a mostly men predominated business, Marshalla. How are you viewed in this business?
Mhm.
How do you rate yourself about within your male counterpart? How do you see yourself? Marshalla?
I I don't know if there would be a comparison. Um, But what I would say is that it takes a lot of work to for persons to support you, and I believe that it's not. I would necessarily think that it would have been a male counterpart business in terms of growing, but more like small business.
Mm-hmm.
What we face as small business is so much greater issues with large business, and because as like a business, you have to be the manager, the accounts clerk, the advertisement manager, the sales clerk, operation manager, admin, and you have to do the rounds on the road. It takes a lot to do or to carry all that you need to do. And in terms of even other businesses who support you, it takes much. Because I remember initially when we started out, and we we had I had a checkbook, for example, because of course different now that you can do online services. And some business will tell you that they won't accept check from you because you're a small business. Some of the facilities that the bank will offer, for example, like Dropbox and those stuff, they would not be offered to small business. So the challenges are higher. So I would not say the support is not there for me as a woman, but it's more operating a small business where you have to expand yourself to do the areas because you can, because it would have been a lot of resources extended to do that. So it takes much on myself as a person to do all that and to actually manage the day-to-day activity in the business.
But I know that where you and Adriana are concerned, you are much better off than a lot of business women because you have your husbands there as partners with you who can actually help you. If it's even to say, honey, move that here to there or whatever. So that is still a big help. And a lot of times I find that the most important assets that we really need as women is just somebody to believe in you. Sometimes, no matter how good you are, your faith does become weary. You do feel like you can't take another step. You do feel like I'm taking on this and it's too much. No matter how we encourage ourselves, no matter how we are Christians, no matter how we are believers, there comes the time, just like Job, when you go through your challenges, that you actually doubt yourself. And I don't believe one Christian can tell me that they don't doubt themselves. I doubt myself sometimes. I wonder, can I do this? I wonder, am I making the right decision? And even Bevier can tell you sometimes she's like, what you worrying about? You praying about it and you get to go ahead. What you worrying about? You worry yourself too much. And I have many friends who will tell me that. So when you have to be the marketer, you have to be the promoter, you have to be the financer, you have to be the cleaner, you have to be everything that that young business needs. You have got to be in a position where you must learn to encourage yourself. Am I right, Madam Adriana?
Absolutely.
Can you
Absolutely.
tell me, like, your worst? Have you ever felt like you just can't do it? And
Absolutely.
what did you do
Definitely.
during those times?
Uh, just what can I say? This the path that I chosen,
Mm-hmm.
because it is health and people, it's very intimate. So it can be very spiritual at times. I cry with people. I hug people, and a lot of times I'm giving and giving and giving, and at the end of the day, you can feel really empty, and it can feel really alone sometimes in this work. And I don't know. I know many people that cook and things like that, and they cook for other people and they can't eat. It can be similar with healing when you're doing work for other people like that. It's very difficult to pay attention to yourself and devote time to yourself because you're so busy helping everybody else. And all I want to do is help. That's just in me. All I want to do is help other people. And you spoke a little bit about having that reflection, that mirror. My husband here, and he's the one that really has taught me over time in this business, just self-care and just take that moment for yourself, and not only validating and pushing me and letting me know that you can do this, But not only can you do this and you're rocking it, you're doing it awesome, but take a moment for Adrena, take a moment for yourself. Make sure you're still putting all that time and energy that you give to other people for yourself. Because if you're not good and you're not well, how are you going to help other people? And I see you, BJ, responding because I think as women, we do it all of the time. We take
All the
on
time.
everything and everyone, and we want to give as much as we can, whatever the business is, whatever the calling is, and we often forget ourselves in that equation. And certainly having my husband there and just a really good network and family and friends around me helps me to stay grounded and to be sure that I can pay that much needed attention to myself. Because when I pay attention to myself, I feel selfish. I don't want to take the time for myself. I feel like it's so many other people that need my help in this time that I don't devote that time to myself. But I am getting better at it, and certainly having someone to remind you to do that, it goes a long way. It goes a long way, even if it's just 5 minutes of meditation, prayer, opening up your Bible or whatever your book of worship is, and taking those moments for yourself. It's so important. It's so important. Just so that you can feed. You have to pour into yourself to be able to
Yeah.
give to other people. If you don't, you will be empty and you'll be at a deficit. And I don't think we can serve people the way that we need to if we're in those conditions.
I go ahead,
Marcia,
Beth. Go ahead, Beth.
you know what? I can relate to you. I can relate to you. But what I started doing was my birthday is the 16th of June. So on the
Okay.
16th of every month,
Mm,
I take that day for me.
yes,
Whether it's I started in the morning and that's my day. I
that's
get
good
somebody
one.
to watch Colin and that's my day. Not me and my spouse, just me. I go to the spa, whether get my nails done, go to the library, walk through the park.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll drive 30 miles away just to go to lunch. Just
Yes.
me.
Yep.
So that's a suggestion. If you pick the day that
I
you were
like
born
that.
and just lock that up and say that's my day.
Yes, I
And
like that, BJ. I will put that into practice.
yes,
You
yes,
you
just
know
just do you. And then if you do girls' night, you can get a couple
Mhm.
of your girls together. There's some little pouches. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not prepared. But there's some little pouches that I got from Amazon, and it says, "Do you?" And in
Mm,
it, I put the Neutrogena face cleanser. I put
okay.
some Advil. I put just
Right.
little trinkets. And in it, you go away and you're like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?" But it's you. It's just
Right.
you, and you're not
Something for
thinking about
yourself.
nobody else. And
That's
you're not
right.
being selfish. You're
Yep.
not being selfish.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take care of you, you cannot. And you're right, take care of anybody else.
That's right.
Okay, so
Absolutely
that's
right, BJ.
awesome. Ladies, I'm going to ask you just to put in your contact information in the chat, your business name, your contact information, whether you want to share it by your email or telephone number. Just put that in the chat. And, as BJ spoke about doing girls' night out, let me tell our listeners and viewers that it's important. Girls just meeting and chilling, whether it be girls or friends or whatever. So come Saturday, July 31 at 8 p.m. I know COVID, we're opening up back. We still have our protocols. You still have to wear your mask. You still will get your temperature checked. But I'm inviting you, whether you want to paint at home or you want to come in person. We will be having a paint and sip. The information is right here. I don't know if you can see it. Um, where we will be having a paint and
That's
sip.
here.
And
That's
as I
here.
said, you can just DM me for your kit. You can paint at home or you can come into the studio and paint with us on location. So this is called CS Bite and a Mouthful, Paint and Sip Without a Drip, as we celebrate life, family, and friends. When? Saturday, July 31 at 8 p.m. Zoom or in person. Cost $55, which includes kits, instruction, entertainment, and refreshment. Our payment method is via Cash App. So it's Dollar Up My Dreams too. And information can be found on my Facebook page, on Instagram, or you can DM us, right? So right here, July 31 at 8 p.m. Let's join in and fellowship and just have some fun. Um, so
So I got a question. Okay, so we on Zoom. Are we gonna have our wine? Are you gonna send us a bottle of wine? I mean, you did say pain and sip.
child, you just find your way into New Jersey, all right? If you want to sip, you find your way into New Jersey and then we can sip as we go along.
Yes,
You hear
ma'am.
what it says? It said paint and sip and don't drip or don't trip. So don't trip it.
I won't make it.
You're gonna come. You have to come. So tell me, ladies, is there anything you want to point out before we go? What's your main focus? 5 year vision for you, Marshall.
Right?
What's your 5 year goal?
All right. One
Marshall?
of the things for us at Ferrons is that the hearing.
Yes. Now we're not hearing.
All right. As I was saying, I'm not sure what is happening. Are you
All
hearing me
right.
now?
I'm hearing you.
Yes,
Go ahead, Marshall.
Hearing me?
Yes.
Right. For us at Ferrons is that we want to become a household name for the things that we do. So we're not just offering services or doing business. We want to be known for what we are, not just for to be known, but to be known as to offer an excellent and consistent service. So one of the things that we find is that a number of time businesses will come up and they will started out in one way, and then they grow big and they're unable to be of the service or the quality that they are supposed to be. And so while I want to grow, while I want to get big, while I want to expand, I'm also mindful that I maintain the quality, I maintain the consistency that I want to. I want to tell people that this is my name. And so when I hear the name Ferrons, I must be proud of it. And so that's what we're seeking to become, and also that offering quality and consistent services. So for my goal is to expand in all the areas that we're doing. There are a number of other services that we want to go into. So quite a number of investment is coming on board in the coming year. But I know for sure that one of the things that we want to do is to expand by having another location where we're offering this and even more to other communities that would have liked our service and maybe not able to access it where we're located. So I know new another business on the horizon and an expansion of what we do into offering more corporate companies our services and not just necessarily the walk-in. Because while the walk-ins are good and we appreciate coming in, but we want to get the big jobs out there. So we want to make ourselves known so that we can harness some of those that are out there. So so while I don't have the pointed goal right now, but that's what our intentions are.
Okay, awesome. Adrian, what about you?
So our 5-year goals and vision encompasses several things. One is expanding and having a full service wellness and health center in the community, in the area, somewhere here in New Jersey, preferably Essex County. And secondly, having a manufacturing facility where I can not only produce and process my stuff, but where other herbalists can come and use the facilities and know that they have a place that has parallel beliefs as them, where they know that all of their things will be processed in kind and in the way that most herbalists and naturalists holistic people would want their products processed. Right now, there's not many places for that. So my vision is a cooperative manufacturing space.
Okay. BJ, I know you have an event coming up soon. Do you want to tell us about it and where we can find you and all of that?
I think her mic is off.
Your mic is off.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I had to switch monitors. Um,
Okay.
so Saturday the 17th from 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. There is an Expand Your Brand. It's something coming up in the Maryland, DC, Virginia area, and it's about bringing various people together. And I've never worked with this person before, but I've heard good things. I want to go and see what it's like. I understand that he does the Northeast Corridor, and what he does is he gets all these various companies to come together. He'll pick one or two speakers to speak, and basically it's a networking. It's networking. So you have a table, and you show your stuff and you talk about your business.
Awesome.
It
Okay.
seems to be based on an email I received today. It's supposed to be about 20 people. There's going to be like 20 vendors,
Mm-hmm.
and there's going to be there's a DJ, but there's also going to be smooth jazz playing in the back. So, and it's at a nice hotel. It's near the waterfront in the National Harbor. It's supposed to be nice. So I told Marcia that the next time after I go and see what it's like, I'll invite her to come. But it's something that with the district being shut down, everybody that normally goes to Washington, D.C. will be going to this event. Plus, it's
Okay.
right next to the MGM where you can get to enjoy yourself. And I'm sorry, I'm a Christian, but I do drink my wine and I enjoy my wine. So, and every so
Enjoy.
often some Hennessy.
You know, as I look forward to, opening up, and I will share that
Yeah.
more with my visitors as I go along. I'm not just looking at event planning. I'm looking at actually my marketing consulting that I do. I'm looking forward to my coaching business that I do for new parents. I'm looking forward to my book signing and to expand my books because I have two books now that should be coming out soon. One is a journal that I'm dealing with, certain illness. The other one is I'm not ready to throw it out there as yet, but I'm working on them. Pretty much, it's just to fine tune them. For the journal, I know I want to release that for October 8th, which is my brother's birthday. That's my brother who has been like a father, a brother, confidant, everything to me. So I want to release that on his birthday. I'm open also to do the official opening of the business on that date or the Saturday following the 8th of October. So there are things that are in the pipeline and that are coming up. Um, I'm going to throw out. Is there anything that I've left out that you want to say, guys? I open the floor to you and to also include your final remarks in this. And I'll start with BJ. You came on last. Let me give you the limelight.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh,
Um,
before I go, BJ, um, Marcella and Adriana, and even BJ's. Are there any plans? Because, it says without a vision, the people perish. And I'm not telling anybody here that they are getting old, but I know I'm getting older each day. I don't know about you guys. But, we have to pass on the knowledge as we go along. If I can help somebody as I go along, then my living is not in vain. Are there any plans to mentor our youths into what we're doing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So currently, I do mentor young herbalists. I hold classes free of charge for children under 15 that want to learn about alkaline herbs, that type of thing.
Mhm.
And also, my husband and I have been married for 19 years in October. We counsel young couples as well.
Oh, cool, cool. Wonderful. Is it that you counsel young couples who are already married or persons who are going into marriage?
Both. We
Okay,
do
both.
both prior to getting married and once
Mhm.
married.
Okay, great. That's awesome to know. All right, Marcello.
All right, for me at Ferrons is that in Hotel Home Sakadot, I was the owner, I was the brand, I was everything. And so I realized that I couldn't leave the business for a second because everything relies on me. So the thing that we do, we try to ensure that for persons who would have come on board as members of staff, they are cultured in a way so that they understand that they are an ambassador for the company. And so we try to mentor. I mean, I'm actually mindful of those persons who we employ because one person will have the mind and vision of the company so that they can carry on. So even if I'm absent for a week, a day or two, or whatever period, they can carry on the activity with the excellence and the consistency that we want as a company. So I'm always trying to mentor, always trying to encourage and to motivate those around me. Not necessarily even in my business, but even outside, I've done that, helping others to start their own business and correct them, person calling me all the time. Um, I even tell myself many times that I should be going into consultation more than owning a business because I've done more of that than even actually in my business. So it's a constant thing for me to encourage people because for me, the more persons out there doing owning their own and doing their
Yes.
thing, it also builds me as well. So whatever I know, I always try to pass on to once I do. So I always pass on the knowledge. Never a thing that I hold for myself, but to always expand into, for those I know.
Okay. Old, oh my God, I almost let out our secret, Bev.
That's
Bev, is
okay.
that a crown what's on your head?
I just put my crown on.
Oh my
Yes.
God. Bev, you're too much. Take your
I
time.
love it.
I
Let
put
me
my
let me
crown
put
on.
on let me put on a crown too.
Yes, put your crown on, sweetie. There you go.
Yes.
There you go. So,
All
next time
hail.
you need to have a meeting, have one for the queens
That's
and tell
right.
everybody to get a crown.
You know something? Marshall, hold your head. Let me crown you. I
There
crown
you
you.
go. There you go.
Adriana, I crown you. Okay, so Bev, what do you
Mhm.
have in store? Like, I know you're always mentoring persons, but do you plan to make this more official now that you're going more official with Collins Angels?
The funny thing is, I've been doing it for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, I'm going to make it official now. Normally, every prom or prior to prom, there's two high schools that I deal with, and the
Mm-hmm.
guidance counselors will reach out to me and let me know which child may be short one credit or half a credit. And if there's a tutoring that's needed, I normally pay for the tutor for
Mm-hmm.
that person so they can go the next step and graduate. Because I would hate to see somebody get discouraged and leave school because, the rest of the class walked down the stage and they didn't.
And they couldn't.
The second thing that I do is for prom and graduation. So the same guidance counselors will tell me if there are two girls, two boys from each school that may need cap and gown, or
Mm-hmm.
somebody that wants to go to prom that can't afford it. So what
Mm-hmm.
I would do is I would make arrangements. Get a limo, take the person shopping. There's about seven girlfriends of us. We've been friends since the 70s. So
Mm-hmm.
we have a pool of funds together and we pull from that. So we'll go ahead and take the person and, dress up for Cinderella, except,
Mm-hmm.
nothing falls off at midnight. And
Right.
the good thing about it is sometimes you get a chance to see young people who cannot afford it, and just that one little bit can build that self-esteem to push them a little more. So I do that, and then the other part that I do is Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas. We adopt three families, and those families we provide meals. Now
Mm-hmm.
that people have so many allergies, we provide gift cards so they can go wherever they want, and it's between $50 and $75. They go wherever they want and buy whatever they want. But normally, so we team with Giant Supermarket and Safeway, And for back to school, we team with Target, Walmart, and Office Depot to
Mhm.
stuff backpacks so those kids will have their stuff. And my relationship with the guidance counselors is if those kids need to talk to me, I will mentor the young ladies and even the guys if necessary. So there's a lot of things I don't talk about, see it.
Well, I'm going to be located just across the road now from a high school, and even back home in Jamaica as an event planner. I wasn't so much about making money. I only wanted to know that a couple wanted to get married. Whatever, if they have a penny, I'm going to give them $1 million looking wedding. If they have $1 million, I'm going to give them a $5 million looking wedding. So for me, it wasn't so much about the money. It was about the just the self gratification that I get. I tell you that my joy is to look at an open space and to envision how I can transform it.
Yeah.
My joy is at the end of it to hear a husband who says to me that, Marcia, I don't know how you do it, but my wife is the fussiest person. And my wife, you did our wedding, and my wife never had a complaint, which is
Yes.
very strange. So,
Mhm.
um, that's the kind of a gratification that I get. I remember just recently,
Um,
yes, Marshall, are you trying to say something? Go ahead.
Marcia, I was wondering what
I'm not hearing.
don't you? I was wondering
We're
why
not
don't you
hearing
allow
you.
me to flaunt you and your service?
What did you
Oh,
say,
No, I'm
Marcella?
saying
she
what?
might need your service.
Huh?
What did you say? Can you repeat
No, I'm
what you
saying
just
why
said?
don't you allow me to talk about the service that you offer?
Oh, go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
I'm
Go
saying
ahead.
I'm wondering why don't you allow me the chance to talk about your service,
Okay, go ahead,
because I think I
please.
did earlier that persons come in their life for a reason and for a season. And when
Mm-hmm.
I met you, we weren't going to the same church. I know that we met going to the same church. It was a business. I wanted to get married, and somebody recommended me. I don't remember who recommended me to you.
The blue,
And we met. I told you what my
the
dream for my
brown,
wedding is.
the
And
brown
ladies, I
shoes,
can
I
tell you
think.
that we had a perfect wedding because Marcia, huh?
I think it was
What was that?
no, you were saying you didn't remember who recommended you. It was Althea and her
So
husband. It was Althea and her husband.
She has the memory of an elephant.
no, it would have been Mr. Robotham who did. I believe. I
No,
don't know
man,
who it was.
it wasn't Minister
But all I
Robotham.
know when I told you
It
what my
was
plans were
it was your husband's
and I
co-worker. The
and I didn't have
what
to
are their
buy
names
dress.
again? Go ahead, Marshall. We can hardly hear you,
Right.
but
So you took right. So what you did, you took the idea that we had and the vision, and then you did everything. So I didn't have to go here and there to get like first to the photographing or cake something. You did everything, and up till this day, I can say I had a perfect wedding, and I didn't have to think about much because Marcia took all, and it was absolutely beautiful. So when she talked about she doesn't care about the amount of money you have, that is absolutely true. Because even though I mean we spent quite a deal on our wedding, but I'm telling you that I think that whatever we paid her, what I got was way more than that. It was absolutely beautiful and perfect. So I understand you. It's the same thing that even in our business restaurants. I am usually satisfied to hear a customer say yes, because just know that I'm talking to you, we did some graduation package, and the customer said to me, they are very, very satisfied with what they see. So when I hear that, that is what motivates me, not necessarily to collect the money,
Right.
because sometimes at the job, I don't even collect the money until so long after. But when I'm here, I am pleased. That is what drives me to want to do better. So, I mean, Marcia, you have been excellent, and I know that
thank
what you're doing is absolutely true, because I have been a recipient of your good service.
thank you
And
so
then
much.
talking
You
about
mean
like
Oh,
your
that is
seniors,
so sweet.
It's a
That is
beautiful
very nice.
testimonial. It is.
Yes,
You're making me blush, Marcella, because it's funny because I don't really promote myself a lot on the shows.
you should. You should.
Absolutely
Yeah,
should.
I really don't promote myself that much on the shows because I really want to highlight other persons. But I if I can say myself, I try to be extremely efficient at what I do. I try to every event I envision it as though it's my own. I can tell persons that people will come to me and say, "Oh, you did Marcella's wedding, and I would like my wedding to be like hers." And I will say, I have no idea what I did. I might be able to look back at a picture, but I get inspiration on what I'm doing. So I might be putting this glass here, and then something say, "Why don't you twist it like this, or why don't you do like that?" And so I will do it, and I will get a totally different concept. And so for me, that is one of the reasons why I try to mentor persons because I say my giftings come from God. And so I have no misgiving about teaching somebody something because hey, guess what? I teach you something. You have got to get the vision from God to know how you're going to expand on that because while you're there busy trying to memorize what I taught you, I'm on to the next level already. I'm always trying to move up and to go ahead. So I have no issues really mentoring, and that's what I love to do. And it's a good feeling like when I can talk to someone that has worked with me, whether it be in early childhood education or in the event planning business or in whatever I do, and they can come back to me. Jamaica, we're very formal, and they can say, "Oh, Miss Harris, I mean, thank you. You have people." I have a young man who worked with me that when initially he used to say he's so afraid of being around me because I can spot a I can spot a little glitch from a distance. And I would go back to him and I'd say, Lloyd did this and that and the other. And he's like, Miss Harris, how did you see that? And to see now is like one of the most sought after person right now in Jamaica where wedding and events and stuff like that is concerned. So
Great.
that gives me great gratification. I come back into, coming out of the business world and, I have persons and, as I was saying to somebody recently, is that, when somebody sends us an application, we say, oh, we need 5 years experience, we need 10 years experience. But for a person who's just leaving high school, a person who's just leaving university, where do they get the experience from if we don't give it to them?
That's
you know
right.
so it's kind of silly for us to be asking for all these years of experience. I think what we need to do is to change the modem of apparatus that we do. Let us
Right.
now say, okay, instead of me paying you $20, I will pay you minimum wage. I will give you 6 months
Right.
internship or semi-internship where I'm going to train you. And at the end of that, once we reevaluate you, then we will promote you into the
Right.
position. But until then, you'll be acting interimly. Yes, go ahead, Adrian.
Right. Just to piggyback off what you're saying, I just think it's so important that we as entrepreneurs and the folks that are on the front lines of these businesses that
Mm-hmm.
do things like what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
Marcia, and that I see that apprenticeship is so much definitely missing in our economy today and
Mm-hmm.
so needed. It's really what the foundations of most nations are built off of. Apprenticeship, if your father was a princeman and a pressman, most likely that's a trade that you're going to
Yeah.
learn. If your
Yeah.
mother
Mm-hmm.
was an herbalist and a naturalist, then that's the trade that you're going to learn.
Right.
If your auntie is an event planner and she does wedding, then somebody is going to learn that trade. So I think it's so important in passing on that knowledge at those very young ages before you go spend $100,000 on university or college. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when these gifts, and I believe in every bone of my body that the things that we are doing are definitely ordained by God. They're given by the Creator. It's not something that you can go to college and get. You can't learn this in university. It's something
Right.
Mm-hmm.
that comes from heart, and only that spirit can be passed along. And when you have all of yourself invested in a business like you do with what you do and I do and what BJ does, and I'm sure what Marcella does,
Mm-hmm.
To give that and to give it in kind without this huge price tag attached to it, I think is a wonderful thing. And it only comes back to us 10 and 100 fold.
Yes.
You're just
Yes.
you're just
Amen.
feeding, you're actually feeding into yourself. You're pouring into yourself when you give that knowledge to somebody else.
Right.
So
And
apprenticeship, I think, is something that we're missing from the culture
Yeah.
that we absolutely need. Even if you're
We
getting a
need to
job,
get
even
back.
if you're going into college, you should definitely learn something. Learn how to work the land, know agriculture, know how to grow something for yourself, know how to
mhm.
sew. We don't even get home economics classes in school anymore. They
I
don't teach
heard.
our children. My kids are 13 and 15. They don't know how to balance a checkbook. I have to teach them that. They don't know how
Mhm.
to, I learned how to bake in school. My mother wasn't a great cook. So, I learned in school. But these are the type of things that they have excommunicated from
Right.
education. So wherever we can fill in the gaps in our communities, I think is very important. And I think apprenticeship is just so important, internships and things of that nature that we can offer, where they're getting a wealth of knowledge and it's not going to cost us or them a whole lot of
Right.
financial, resources.
And it's very important
Definitely.
because here is where the churches come in and the communities
Yes.
advocacy comes in.
Yes.
Because for me, I it was a joy for me, like at church, for us to do a entire setup where we teach about setting the table, where we teach about,
Yes.
because so
Mhm.
many, especially of our young women, want to get married,
Yes.
but they can't even set a table.
Nope.
They believe that you have to have the most expensive meal. Your meal doesn't have to be expensive.
Nope.
You can have the least of things. It's your presentation.
Patient. Yes. Yes.
It's the presentation that
Mhm.
makes a difference. You can have absolutely nothing on the plate, but
Mhm.
you can make your partner happy just by
Yes.
how you present
How you
that
present
plate
it.
to him.
Yep.
Yes. So we need to kind of, set that kind of, go to the dollar store, buy two candles. If you don't have a
Mhm.
candle holder, okay, no problem. We can teach
Get
you
a
how to
saucer.
implement all of that,
Yes.
supplementing and implementing and just stage
Mhm.
it.
Yep.
You don't have a nice fancy tablecloth. You don't even have a table maybe. But we can say, okay, pull the coffee table, do this, do that, throw some
Mhm.
cushions, get some little, candles here and there and
Beautiful
spice it
material.
up.
You can get beautiful
Yes,
material for so cheap to make
yes.
beautiful things. You just have to
Mhm.
be
You
industrious
don't have a
and a
nice
bit of
tablecloth?
imagination.
Hey, go pull for a nice sheet and let's do something,
My
just
girlfriend had some boxes. She
mm-hmm.
went she went to Walgreens at a supermarket and got some boxes and taped the boxes. And she got a curtain and threw over it for
Yes.
Valentine's.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Got the candle and she said, "What am I gonna do?" I said, we used to drink. So I said, "You have shot glasses?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Put a candle in the shot glasses and
Mm-hmm.
create a setting." Yeah.
Yes. So these are the little things that we need to be teaching our young people. You're saying
Absolutely.
you're not home economic is no longer taught in the class.
Right.
I learned the proper way to like joint my chicken because I grew up with my grandmother in the country. My grandmother just know that you chop the meat and you get the meat
And she
served.
Right.
they knew where
Yes.
everything was.
Right. So at church, we had home economic, and especially like when we have like conventions and they would be preparing meal, you go and they show you how to joint the chicken,
Right.
where to join the joints and stuff like that. So we need to go back to the whole
To our
way of
roots.
life. We
That's
need to
right.
go back to not just Marcy, but Marcy for Adriana, Adriana for BJ,
There
BJ
you
for me,
go.
and
Mm,
make it into a village. It
that's
takes a
right.
village to raise a child, but it
That's
also
right.
takes a village to merge us together to be
Yes.
better at what we
Mhm.
do. And
Mhm.
I
so,
think also too one of the things that we need to focus on too is not just the girls, it's the boys.
yes.
Absolutely.
We're losing so many of our
Mhm.
young men.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them wish they had somebody.
Yeah.
Um Adrian, and when the gentleman, the young man, one of the young men that shot my son, when
Mhm.
he was called to court, I wanted to find out what happened. I asked the judge if I could see him. I went
Right.
to him and I hugged him. And I said, you just threw your life away. You were 16. Now you're 18. And
Wow.
what do you have? And you're gone for life because there were so many other incidents.
Right.
And when I hugged him, he held on so tight. And I let him hold on. And we both cried. And the judge said, I've never seen anything like this in my courtroom. I said, he's still somebody's child.
That's right. He's still
You
somebody's
know,
child.
Hmm.
And
and that's
he's still deserving of grace. He's gonna pay the price
so
for what he did, but he's still
yes,
deserving of grace and love.
yes.
And you gave that to him. That's awesome.
So what I do is every quarter I send a gym bag with toiletries, underwear,
Mm,
top and stuff like that. No, I don't go to see him, but I've
right,
already forgiven him and move on.
right.
But he's still somebody, somebody's child, and that's one of the things God is not tempting. God allow us to do is to share the love. The only thing God asks us to do is to worship Him and praise Him. And every time you look on somebody and you lift that hand to help that person, it's a form of praise
Mm-hmm.
because you're doing what God did.
Yep, you're
God
doing
did
the
not,
work. Mhm.
yes, God did not selectively said, I'll deal with the Jews and not the Gentiles, or I'll deal with the this one and not that one. But when he was on the cross, he forgave the two thieves on both sides of him.
Right. That's
Why
true.
shouldn't I do the same thing? And then why can't we reach out? Yes, sometimes it's dangerous to talk to some of these kids, but if you're listening and God give you that spirit to approach such and such a person, then approach them.
That's right.
Because the only thing Satan can do is try to rebuff, push back.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But
right.
if
Mm-hmm.
God is
That's right.
working with you, if God is working with you,
Mhm.
Satan can't do nothing
Nope.
to
You
stop
don't have
that.
no power. You don't
And
have
that's
no
what we
power.
need to do. We need to focus on not just the girls. We need to grab those boys.
Hmm.
And we need to start from their young. We don't
Yeah.
need,
Mm-hmm.
not just as teenagers, we need to start them from
Nope.
elementary school.
5, 6, 7 on the way up. You
Yes,
can't wait. You can't
yes,
wait till they already have patterns. You have to
yes.
instill them along the way.
And you
Absolutely.
may get pushback from the parents and don't talk to my child, don't talk to my child. But you'll be surprised that child may come to you one day and say, may not even call your full name, say, Mrs. A, can I talk to you?
Right.
And confide in you that they won't do with someone else. So I
Absolutely.
think as we go out there as mothers, we
Hmm.
need to really, really, really pay attention to the boys.
Yep.
We really need to pay attention to these boys. I
Absolutely.
mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the girls, but we're always focusing on the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Black girls matter, Black
Mhm.
lives matter, all of that. Yeah. But we need to find these boys because there are too many of them in the cemetery and in jail.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's
And
right.
our poor young women can't find husbands because all the guys are in jails or in the cemetery.
That's
Do you
I
remember
got
this song?
I got a husband.
Take time with me. Take time with me now. Take time.
Ozzy,
Time. Time. Take time. We
Ozzy,
we all got husbands. Anyhow,
We're gonna find one for you.
absolutely.
don't talk too loud. Ques-
Alan,
question, question though. How are we gonna end this program? Because it's funny because just want to share because I remember from CS Biting a Mouthful that we have here. I
Mhm.
also have a little Facebook that I go on occasionally that I do a little motivational, just a little bite here and there.
Okay.
And I find that sometimes I don't go on for a couple of days, and persons are always asking me, "Hey, what's up?
Mhm.
I've not bite in a while." So, I'm trying to just figure out now how to do the balance. So, for those of you listening, your bites will be coming every Monday and every Friday because
oh, she want to take over all of my time now.
on Wednesday evenings, we do no, we're doing the bites during the morning. Don't worry about it. So on Wednesday evenings, we're coming to you
No,
with
no, no.
Steve's Bites and the
I'm sorry.
Mouthful.
I'm sorry. Not at 1 o'clock in the morning, right? Okay.
It can be anytime the inspiration hit, girlfriend. Just
Mm-mm,
keep
mm-mm.
your
I turn my
phone at
phone off
hand.
at 10 o'clock because she will call you at 1 o'clock in the morning.
I don't sleep, and Marshall will tell you that that is how even Marshall and I were communicating. 2 a.m. Marshall is, I'm like, why aren't you in bed? And she's like, the same reason why you're up, and I'm sure Adriana is the same. Um,
Absolutely.
my little old
Often.
lady here, PJ,
Mhm.
up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We are all
Yes.
burning the midnight, the early morning. But do you know that early morning is a good, if for those of you, if you can sleep early and wake up in the wee hours of the morning,
Yes.
that's when your mind is freshest. That's when you get
Fresh.
all the
Fresh.
thoughts. That's when you get
Yes.
all the ideas.
Oh,
I
So
get my biggest ideas at those hours. My most prolific ideas and inspiration comes between probably 2 a.m. and 5 a.m.
no,
amen.
I'm having a conversation with David at that time. I'm having a conversation with King David at that time. I'm not getting up at that morning. No, I'm having a conversation with King David. Come over here. Show me how you hit Goliath. Let me swing that thing. And go, no,
So
no.
You in
let
the
me ask
ether.
you,
You're in the ether
let
at
me
that
ask
hour.
you, when you are talking to me at 2 and 3 a.m. in the morning, am I your David then?
No, no, no. Don't get it twisted. No,
Oh, I see.
no. So that's a little different when you're editing and suggesting and you know what you do. You know what you do. Correcting and tweaking here and tweaking there. I'm surprised you haven't excuse my language twerk at 3 o'clock in the morning. But no, I love my David. I love King David
Okay, okay.
because
So Marcella,
he knew how to humble himself and he knew how to fear
he
God.
knew how to be a base and he knew how to be in top, right?
There you go.
Yep,
There you
yep,
go.
yeah. So
That
I'm gonna be wrapping up the program because
okay.
whether or not we know. Well, I mean, we're like a hour and 45 minutes. We started at about 7:15, and it's 9 o'clock. So we're gonna be wrapping up the program, and I'm gonna give each of you an opportunity to close out. I hope that I have asked all the relevant questions of you. However, if there's any additional information or questions that you think I had not asked, and you need to toss something in, here's your opportunity. And just to give us your closing speech at the time. But for those of you who are watching us here, we ask that you up on over to YouTube, give us some likes, send us your comment, even on Facebook here. Send us your comment. We will see it coming in to us. Send us your comment up on over to YouTube. Give us some likes, give us some shares, and subscribe to our program because that is what basically gives us the encouragement here at CS Bite and the Mouthful to know that we are doing something effective and efficient. Please up on over, give us some likes, give us some subscribe, give us your comments, and give us your shares. Now, who want to start first? Marshall, are you hearing me? Marshall, are you hearing me? Okay. All right. So go ahead, Adrian.
Yes, I just want to thank all of you. Marsha, thank you for having me today and letting me join and commune with you beautiful sisters and everyone who is online participating today. I very much appreciate it. Anybody that is looking to reach out to Earth Solutions for our services, we can be reached at earthsolutionsllc.com. Also on Instagram under at Earthly Solutions. We love the community. We love to reach out. We love to chat and talk and give of ourselves. So we're an open book. Anything that you need to know concerning holistic nutrition, we love to share with you. And I just thank you all again. It's been wonderful participating with all four of you ladies. Three of
Thank
you.
you so much.
Much appreciated.
Okay. Do you want to throw out your contact information again? So just so for someone listening, spell where is possible so that we make it clear.
Absolutely. Earth Solutions LLC. That's EREARTHSSOLUTIONS LLC.com. Phone number is 862 373-0010. And that's Earth Solutions. And my name is Adrena Chanwan Mitchell.
Okay, awesome. Next in line.
All right, firstly, I just want to take the time to say thank you to you, Marcia, for inviting me to be a part of this program. It's my delight, and I'm grateful to be here among these wonderful women making their mark and doing great, motivating and encouraging others. All right, I just want to say that Ferron's Exquisite Photo Studio is located in Jamaica on Holaba Road, shop number 5, Ari Plaza. Our telephone numbers are 727-4578 or 327-8912. We are on Facebook at Ferron's Exquisite Photo Studio, and we're also on Instagram at Ferron's Photo _ graphic media on Instagram. Now, I just want to encourage persons who may be listening now and those who may be watching later on, woman, that you can do it. Just believe in yourself. Whatever the ideas you are for business, just take the business serious, and it will take you serious and reward you back. Once you put in the work, it will reward you back. There are going to be obstacles, there are going to be challenges, there are going to be persons who don't support your vision, but you most can find that person who you can bounce off ideas on. They may not have the solution for you or may be able to give you the answer that you need, but at least you can bounce off and share and maybe build some motivation from that. There are also financial challenges that you may find, but many times we have to make the sacrifice back in our own life so that we can push the business to a mention whereby it can support and push itself. So just continue to push out there. It's rewarding and very accomplishing to own your own business, to be your own boss, of course, sometimes, and to have persons who you can motivate. Yes, there are times that you want to. In the other day, I was going to electricity and I was saying, boy, can I have a 9 to 5? But I'm sure that was a joke, because I know that I would manage that, because there's so much flexibility, so much reward that comes in owning your own business. So go for it. If you have an idea, if you have a dream, if you have a talent that you can use to earn money, just go ahead and use it and do it. Once you take it seriously, it will take you serious as well.
Marshalla, I'm giving you the opportunity, because not only do you manage those business, but you have something else that you do once per month. Do you want to tell us about that?
What was that? Oh, yes. All right. So I of course, thanks for that, because sometimes I don't remember those things. But yes, I do. I don't know if you call it a podcast or a show or whatever, but we go on Zoom. It's called Trending with Shella. You can see it there on my background. So it's Trending with Shella. We go every last Sunday, 8 o'clock Jamaica time. And what we do is conversation. Similar to what Marcia is having here, is conversation where we have our topic, we have guests on, they share their experiences in an effort to encourage each other. Persons who may want, persons to talk to, or they don't know what mediums to go on. We share different ideas and encourage each other. So on the last Sunday of each month, Trending with Shella, once we decide on the topics and the time, we just post information. Maybe we'll sit around with on Facebook or other person's status. The Zoom information as well, to join. It has been good. It's something that the Lord have wanted me to do for a long time. I've been holding back, but of course, when God say yes, you just can't say anything else and just jump in and continue. So I'm grateful to be a recipient of that. It's not me, but it's powering me to do it. So we have been going from March, and it has been good so far. God has been faithful.
Right, because you started a couple days just after I did. I think I started the Wednesday and you started the Sunday following that, right? So check her out on YouTube, Trending with Shella. She has her podcast every last Sunday. Give her a shout out, thumbs up, share and subscribe to her page, please. And I go to my old
here. Okay, so Old Fowl speaking. I was told that on my birthday that I was no longer spring chicken. I'm gonna need a pressure cooker. So I decided, I said, that's okay. This pressure cooker spring chicken can step out with her crown on. So that's where my crown came in. But
That's the
you know,
kind of liberty that I take with my friend, right?
yes, yes, liberty. But Marcia, as always, thank you so much. I shared with you recently that you're an inspiration. I'm trying to figure how many heads you have. I see one, but I think you're like an octopus because there's all these different entities. But
Hmm.
you're reaching out to people that don't have a voice, and hopefully that each of the time that these conversations are going on, you're reaching a few people, and if they could just respond to you privately and says, hey, you know what, something you said, something you did, or I was on such and such a show and it helped. But for my part, I want to say say yes, 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 she got
Marshall,
it.
where's your crown? Other than the imaginary one I gave you. I
We're
love
gonna
that.
have See, she putting one on. Put it on, girl. There you go. There you
Yes,
go.
after all.
Yes, I love it. I love it. But you know what? It's a good thing, and when you get a chance, it's not very often that you find um black women together having positive conversation without yelling, screaming, cursing, and using derogatory names. So it's a beautiful thing, and we're sharing ideas. I can be reached at BJ Dawkins at collinsangel.com. And I didn't have it set up on Facebook. I am on Facebook as BJ Dawkins, but I'm working on the rest of it. But I would like to see myself in about within 5 years to have reached every state, at least one person in each state, to empower that person, not just to care for their loved one, but maybe start something like I'm doing in their state, in their county. And maybe they could reach out to one of us and says, you know what, I'm in Jamaica. How do you do this? Do you mind showing me? Or can you mentor me? The same thing over there. So I want to continue what I'm doing. And now that I'm going public with it, it's very enlightening. It's very enlightening. And I just want to thank you for the audience tonight. I appreciate it.
Okay, and before we go, there are a couple of information that I just want to continue to share with us. I just want to say to all of you who have joined us on Facebook, thank you so very much. A lot of times you're watching, you don't comment. So unfortunately, if you do not comment, we have no idea who is watching. But Donna Thompson has joined us from earlier on in the show. I did tell her welcome, but she's passing on some information, and she said in Jamaica, the 4-H Club is doing a wonderful job in training girls and boys in primary and high school, um, in different skill areas that can be
Good,
useful at
good.
home and can also help them to turn into job opportunities. Most time adults approach, she's saying in relation to what we were talking about the boys earlier on, she said most times adults approach them with hostility
There
and
you go.
don't realize that they are confused themselves. I love talking to the boys. They will open up if you just trust them. And this is coming from a trained high school teacher with specialization in a special ed. So thank you so much, Donna, for
Thank
that
you.
contribution.
Thank
And before
you.
I go, I just want to share our aim here at you know um Sears biting a mouthful. I seek to I am a very inquisitive person, so I want to learn new
We
stuff.
know. We
There's
know.
nothing that is beyond my wanting to know, even if it doesn't concern me. Because guess what? If I learn it, I can pass it on to someone. I'm educating myself and I'm educating somebody. So we seek to aspire, acquire,
Oh,
inform, but most of all, we want at the end of each show that we leave someone inspired. And having said that, I want to say to our listeners, I'm asking you, please, if you are Jamaican, if you know anybody from Jamaica, if you have ever worked in Jamaica, if you plan to retire in Jamaica, if you have family in Jamaica that you are looking to help them to own a home, this program next week, Wednesday, is for you. We will be having from the National Housing Trust joining us, and we are aspiring to Jamaicans abroad and back home a yard. If you want to know how to get your key along with another and along with your other benefits, you want to acquire a little piece of the Rock of Jamaica, join us next week, Wednesday evening. We will have Mr. Dwayne Burbick, Corporate and Public Affairs Manager with the National Housing Trust, joining us on this platform next week, Wednesday evening, July 21, at our regular time of 7 p.m. All that you need to know, come prepared with your notebook and paper. There'll be a lot that you need to write down. And then following that, I will tell you exactly when we will be also having a representative of the National Insurance Scheme, NIS, who will be here with us as well to inform and to educate as to what are your benefits, how can you acquire, how can you achieve things. Because a lot of times people migrate and they don't realize that when they get to retirement age, they still have their NIS benefit back home. If they're here and they're injured and they're unable to work, they still have disability back home that they can tap into. No matter how small it is, a penny is a penny. It's a penny more than you would have if you had not tapped into it. So please, next week, Wednesday evening, July 21, please join us right here. And we have Marshall who told us earlier on about if you want to contribute to your NHT, how you can go about using our organization to make your monthly payment. NHT also have online payment and services. But come next week, we will be tapping more into what the NHT has to offer us. And so we will see you come next week, Wednesday night. And to close out our program, go ahead, BJ. Go ahead, BJ.
With what?
Oh, I thought you were saying something.
Yeah, I was agreeing with you.
Okay, so to take us out, Dreams to Reality events and more your complete wedding activities from A to Z. We specialize in Jamaican destination weddings, parties, corporate functions and fundraisers, graduations, bridal, baby, or graduation showers. Email us at dreams underscore to reality, that's the number two, at outlook.com. Dreams to reality. No dream or budget is too big or small. We are here to realize them all. And so, ladies and gentlemen, in our viewerland, we say thank you so much for another
Thank you.
inspiring evening. And to all our panelists, Adriana, BJ, Marcella, just hang on a sec. We will close out this session while we have a private session afterwards, right? So thank you so much, everyone. See you next week, Wednesday, July 21, for another awesome and inspiring um, evening with Sia, Spite, and them out. So until then, have a blessed week.